Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this October the 11th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Wednesday out there so far. Everybody has a great Wednesday afternoon. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about your forecast across the tropics here. We're going to be taking a look at it. Which is located right here in this little area here where I'm circling my mouth. We also have a Invest 94L, which has just moved off the African coast. Looks to become Tropical Storm Tammy. We thought this little system here in the Gulf would become Tammy, but it has not. But it looks like it's getting a little bit well defined this afternoon, getting a little bit more of its act together. So the hurricane center system, as it continues to push on off into the southeastern United States. Alright, as you can see here, we got a cold front extending all the way back down into just north of Sean. Another one located here, extending all the way back into the southeastern United States. This is the subtropical jet moving like this here, as you can see. Also, here is what was Hurricane Lydia, made landfall, I think this morning or late yesterday evening over Mexico. You can tell it's kind of falling apart, but some of that moisture may move into the Gulf of Mexico and may develop into a little tropical low on the road. Alright, we got some more activity over here in the Eastern Pacific. Another little system here that I think is marked about 20 or 30%, maybe a little more later on. And also got a little activity down here in portions of Central America as well. Alright, okay, if you're a new viewer and you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button today. You get my forecast twice per day. I can't believe I've been on here for already almost 10 months already. Still going strong. Also, if you can like these videos, share these videos, and consider subscribing once again. And we'll go ahead and finish up the forecast. And let's go ahead and start talking about tropical. Alright, as you can see here on the satellite imagery, Sean is getting some dry air wrapped into the system. It only has winds of about 40 miles per hour. At this time, but I would not be surprised if it gets a little more strength, may move up to a 45 to 50 miles per hour storm over the next couple of days as it continues to push on off to the west northwest. Alright, we're going to take a look at the fourth. Alrighty. Tropical Storm Sean, located, there's the wind field of the tropical storm, fourth wind. Remains a tropical storm all the way through 8 a.m. Sunday morning. By Monday at 8 a.m., it looks to become a tropical depression over the central tropical Atlantic as it runs into some wind shear over in this direction. But I would not be surprised if wave maybe make it a little, might just generate kind of like Philippe did, you know, just kind of just meander to the west a little more. So we'll just check that. We'll keep eye on that and see if it heads a little further toward the Bahamas to roll on down the road there. Alright, here is the center of the storm. It's located near latitude 10.9 north, longitude 34.4 west. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles an hour with higher gusts, and moving this to the west-northwest at 13 miles an hour. Classified as a tropical storm with winds of 40 miles per hour. with greater than 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour. That is classified as a tropical storm. All right, let's take a look at the forecast models, or the spaghetti-o model we call it. Alright, you can see here's the center of the storm. Well, it compacted all the way through about 72 hours out. Then it kind of converged after that. There's about 3 takes it to the north, but most of them takes it off to the west. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well to see how Tropical Storm Sean continues to move along. As soon as the thing comes back up here. Alright. 35 knot winds equal to 40 miles per hour. Keeps it's in all of them the tropical storm status. Pretty much most of them do keep it in tropical storm status, but some do weaken it down into a tropical depression. I guess the Hurricane Center is going with the tropical depression. They're not going to go with the tropical storm yet, but it looks it could remain a tropical storm maybe a little longer into early to mid part of next week. So I would not be surprised to see that as well as we continue to roll forward. All right. Now, all right, as you can see here, 94L, located off the west coast of Africa. You can see it's getting a little, it's acting together a little bit better this afternoon, getting a little bit of deeper convection in the system. All right, now we're going to take a look at the forecast spaghetti-o models, or the forecast model we call it, from the National Hurricane Center. Well, they ain't got it yet, but anyway, we're going to take a look at the GEF ensembles until the spaghetti-o models come into play. Okay, should be coming up here in just a few minutes, hopefully. Alright, you can see here's the center of the storm. It keeps it going to the west. This one here kind of dissipates it. That's the main line. Northeastern South America, but moving to the west northwest. These are the Cabo Verde Islands here. Africa is right over here. It's going to continue to push south, and that's something we're going to have to keep on because the water temperature in the Caribbean Sea is pretty warm. So I would not be surprised to see something maybe ramping up later on down the road, maybe in the Caribbean Sea. All right, here's the intensity guidance of the storm. We got about 30 knot winds, equal up to about 35 miles per hour. It's almost a tropical depression. According to some of the models here, take it to a tropical storm within the next 12 to 36 hours, and then ramps on up into a category 1 hurricane. Something we'll keep an eye on and see if it does get that high, but this do look to become tropical storm Tammy. So the National Hurricane Center start issuing advisories on tropical depression number 20, which should be coming up in the next couple of days. So, alrighty. Well, that's your tropical update. Now we're going to take a look at your local forecast here. We're going to take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your location across the nation. And then we're going to take a look at the severe weather perspective of this video coming up right after this here. Alright, you can see here we got plenty of gale warnings, also gale watches also in effect for portions of the coastal water from South Carolina to the east coast of Florida. Same down here from west coast of Florida all the way to portions of southeast Texas, even including the Gulf of Mexico coastal waters. We have some wind advisories, also some flood advisory for portions of Louisiana, and a flood watch there as well. Also, we have some hydro issues over here in portions of Illinois and also northwestern Indiana. We have a high wind watch in effect for you guys in portions of southern South Dakota, much of Nebraska, portions of Kansas, and also eastern portions of Colorado. We have fire weather watches in effect, and also red flag warnings in effect here for you guys in portions of Colorado and also portions of Kansas. Fire weather watches also in effect for Oklahoma, Texas, and northeastern and eastern portions of New Mexico. We have some wind advisories for you guys in portions of Montana. Same down here in portions of Arizona, also portions of Colorado, also northeastern portion of Arizona, southeastern Utah, and southern California. All right. We have storm warning, gale warnings in effect for portions of the coast of California all the way up to Washington State. Also, we have some freeze watches also in effect for you guys here in California and also in Nevada. Frost advisory for a couple counties there in northwestern areas of California. We have winter weather advisory for you guys here in portions of Utah, also in the Wyoming, also in the portions of Montana, also in the portions of Colorado as well, and also into portions of Wyoming as well. Winter storm watches also posted for you guys in portions of South Dakota, portions of Wyoming. Also, winter storm warning is also in effect there as well for portions of southern Montana, much of Wyoming as well. And also some freeze warnings also in effect for you guys here in Utah and also into portions of Nevada as well. All right. Alaska looks good. We got some gale warnings and storm warnings to the southwest. Gale warnings in coastal areas, and the Hawaiian chain island looks a-okay. All right, now we're going to move on to the severe weather part of the video. We're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, also into your Thursday and Friday for severe weather across the board. Alright, you can see we got general thunderstorm down here in portions of Georgia, back down in Louisiana, down in the southern Florida, also the Florida Keys. General thunderstorm is also in effect for Ohio, all the way back far west as portions of Montana, Idaho, Utah, and Nevada, and also over here in Washington, Oregon State. We have a marginal risk in from portions of South Dakota through Nebraska, all the way east into Illinois. We have a marginal risk and a slight risk over northern and central and southern Florida today for that tropical system moving into that region. Alright, if you live in the slight risk area, this includes Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Gainesville, Florida, Clearwater, Florida. If you're in the marginal risk, this includes Jacksonville, Florida, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Delmont, Iowa, and Tallahassee, Florida for a marginal risk of severe weather this afternoon. The tornado probability for today, we have a 2% and a 5% over Florida down here. If you're in the 5% area, this includes Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Gainesville, and Clearwater, Florida. Also, if you're in the 2% area, this includes Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Cape Coral, Palm Bay, Florida areas for a 2% risk for a tornado this afternoon. Alright, damaging winds, 5%, and the 5% up here in Nebraska, 5 and 15% over Florida. Alright, if you live in the 15% risk area, this includes Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Gainesville, and Clearwater, Florida. Also, if you live in the 5% area, this includes Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Cape Coral, Port St. Lucie, and Palm Bay, Florida. This is the 5% risk area for damaging winds this afternoon. Alright, this is only 5%. This up here from Illinois back into portions of South Dakota and Nebraska. Alright, if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Delmont, Iowa, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Cedar Rapids. Okay, as you can see here, we have a marginal risk. We have a general thunderstorm activity up here in portions of Minnesota, Oklahoma, and as far west as portions of Colorado and Wyoming. We have a marginal risk up here in areas of Nebraska, back over to Iowa, down into portions of Kansas, Missouri. Slight risk also in effect for portions of Kansas and Nebraska region as well. General thunderstorms over portions of Panhandle, Florida, also into southern Georgia, southern South Carolina, and southern Florida and Florida Keys. We have a marginal risk in the darker green, also in a slight risk area across much of Florida. All right, if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Lincoln, Nebraska, and then Orlando, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Tampa, Florida. Slight risk for severe weather this on your Thursday this afternoon, but this is for your Thursday. All right, being a marginal risk, this includes Jacksonville, Florida, Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, and Kansas City, Kansas, for a marginal risk for severe weather on Thursday. All right, we have a 2 and 5% up here in portions of Nebraska, back down into portions of Kansas. Same down here across Florida. All right, if you live in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Gainesville, and Clearwater, Florida, 5% risk for a tornado. Also, if you live in Jacksonville, Florida, Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Palm Bay, Florida, and 2% risk for a tornado on Thursday. All right. Damage and winds is only 5%. This includes Jacksonville, Florida, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Wichita, Kansas, and Tampa, Florida. And let's take a look at the hail probability. We have a 5% and 15% over Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa. If you live in Omaha, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, Topeka, Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas, and St. Joseph, Missouri, 15% risk for large hail. If you live in Kansas City, Missouri, Wichita, Kansas, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, and Duluth, Kansas, now let's move on to your Friday outlook. Alright, you can see here we got general thunderstorms in portions of South Texas. Same over here from Louisiana all the way into southern South Carolina down to the Florida Keys. We have a general thunderstorm activity. That's general thunderstorm activity, in fact, what I just called out here. Same up here in portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, all the way back into Ohio, Kentucky. Marginal risk up here in areas of Illinois, Iowa, and also Missouri. If you live in Chicago, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, Roy, Illinois, Rockford, Illinois, Napa, Illinois, marginal risk for severe weather on Friday. Probability 5%. Pretty much same location, Chicago, Illinois, to Naperville, Illinois, and surrounding areas. You're under a 5% risk for severe weather coming up on your Friday. I would not be surprised to see a slight area maybe added to this as well. So just stay tuned to later forecasts, and we'll have another update on it tomorrow. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well. Also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, consider subscribe if you have not. And we'll catch you back in the next video. So have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon, folks. Take care.